listeners, and welcome back to the Review for Few podcast. As always, it's me, Avi, and today we're talking stay close. But first, what's new? Let me tell y'all what's new with me. I have been working for 2 weeks straight, and yet somehow I managed to not only get all my schoolwork done, but to still stay loyal to the podcast. There were so many times last year where I was just like, I don't want to do an episode. It's either do an episode or do homework. Do an episode or do homework. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'll do the episode, but my schoolwork will pay for it. And it was just this constant battle. You know what I mean? But I'm doing great so far, And if this year ain't about growth, I don't know what it's about. My birthday is right around the corner, and I feel like I could feel myself stepping into maturity just a wee bit more because I'm still gonna be a kid at heart. That's who I am. I'm a child at heart. Once a kid, always a kid. But the way I've been getting to business this year so far, I'm truly proud of myself. And it's only the first month. If I keep this up, this energy, this rhythm, this pattern that I got going on, there's no way that this year won't be the best year of my young adulthood. Because so far since I turned 18, I don't think I've had a really solid year. You know what I mean? And I just want to be solid. I just want to be a solid girl. I'm a solid girl. And I think I deserve it. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. On the date this podcast drop in 36 days, I'll be a year older. And when I turn my new age or finish my year, whatever they be saying about birthday, they be saying something. I don't know. I want to see the growth. Growth is the key to everything to me at this moment because that's just what happens when you grow up. But I don't want to just grow up and feel like I'm just flying through the moments. Like I actually want to be in the moments and live through the moments. And so far, I can say that I'm living. I'm doing better. I want my memory to improve. I want to remember the good times because who don't want to remember the good times? I don't want to walk around and be like, I don't remember. It's one thing for me not to remember how life was in middle school and high school because them years sucked. But my young adulthood, I gotta tell my kids and my nieces and nephews, should I ever get them, about this. Like, your 20s is everything. And your 20s really is everything. Your 20s is the moment where you can make just so many mistakes. And it's like, people can't really judge you. And you can't be too hard on yourself because it's like, you really don't know. But when you halfway walking up out your 20s, you better know because in your 30s, ain't nobody finna be like, oh. They can be like, oh, yeah, you're. But, anyways, now let's get on with the show. So this past week, I watched Stay Close, and it is another book turned Netflix original by the same man who wrote Fool Me Once, last week's episode. In fact, there are a lot of Netflix originals that are based off his books, and I highly recommend checking them out, especially after watching these last two series. I may not know how the book goes, but if they're drawing the concept, the ideas, the plots from the book, my lord, I can only, because people always say the books are better than the movies or the TV shows. So I feel like I really like this TV show, so I could only imagine how the book is like I can't read a book because it's like you're reading words and you have to imagine them, and it's like, oh my god, I wonder what's gonna next. I wonder what's gonna happen next. Licks fingers, swipes page. Oh my god! Like I can't read a book. I can't read a book. I can't. I have Audible. I don't have Audible no more, but I used to use whatever Apple's version of it. Apple got a version of every single app out there, but I used to use that to read or listen, I should say, to my books. I have a book that I'm supposed to read for my class this year, and I was gonna get the Audible book, but it's only good for 30 days, and then after that, I gotta pay $14 a month, and I'm just like, I'm gonna need this book longer than 30 days, so let me just go ahead and buy the book, and I'm gonna get Siri to read it to me. I let Siri, if when my friends or anybody sends me long paragraphs, I do not sit there and read it. Siri reads it to me, and she reads it in the tone and voice that I need it to be. She be reading it like that, and I be loving it. I love me some Siri. You can't tell me nothing about my girl Siri. Siri and Alexa, them's my girls. Them and Delilah, but she not paying attention. Anyways, in this particular series, there are a lot of dead bodies. And just like Fool Me Once, you gotta hold on to the very, very end. You can't stop halfway. You can't give up. Because, like, most stories, I feel like it could be, or most TV shows, it could be boring in the beginning, but it's like, you gotta watch that beginning. Because I feel like the beginning is where you pick up the most information. And you would think I would learn that, especially since I want to, like, do this whole reviewing TV shows and movies. And I don't, because I watch something, I'm just like, oh, this is so boring. I don't want to watch this. This is so, like, oh my God. Like, especially if, like, somebody recommended me, send a text like, this is stupid. I don't like this. But it's like that first episode holds a lot and tells a lot, because when you come to the end or halfway through, it's like, just like in Fool Me Once, when they had that whole little, like, the young teenage adolescent boys doing whatever they're doing, and then they never talked about it again till like episode 7, episode 6, and I was just like, I just turned into a sign right there. I heard I was just trying to be like, oh, but then I heard I legitimately don't know what's wrong with me. I've never been tested, and I don't plan on getting tested. I think I'm perfectly fine. I just be in the moment a little too much. But anyways, now to give you some background into the series, it's about a woman named Megan who is living this suburban lifestyle. She's a mom of 3, and she's getting married. All right. She has 3 kids with this man that she's supposed to be marrying. I was thinking the same thing before anybody in the series said it, because somebody in the show says it. And I was just like, finally, somebody says it. Let's keep it somewhat realistic. Like, you have 3 big kids, at least 2, if not one of them. None of them kids is big and grown, because she was out partying, doing all these other stuff. And you still ain't married this man? And then come to find out, this man asked her, and asked her, and asked her for almost damn near 20 years. I can't even get a man to ask me out right now. You got the same man asking you over and over again to marry him, but yet you will lay down and give birth to his kids. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I gotta get there. I don't want to get there, because what am I doing with 3? Why do I have 3-year-old kids? And I'm still with you, so I must like something about you. Why ain't I marry you after the first, the second, the third? The last child looked like he like a good like 8 or something, like maybe 9. Like, come on now, we can't be doing that. What you? Come on now, like, girl. Anyways, it's just, why are y'all getting married at this point? Just to say we're married? That's it. Like, I don't understand. It's just, maybe I'm not at that age where I understand. Like, I'm still 22. I ain't stepping to 23. I ain't hit that 23 growth yet, so I'm still stuck at the 22 growth. But it's just like, what are we doing? Where's your extra chromosome at? Because clearly you need it. Clearly you need it. Anyways, continuing forward, you learn she had this past life where she was a stripper, dancer, hoe, whatever you want to call her. And her past is starting to catch up with her for some unknown reason. This man she used to know has suddenly reappeared after almost 20 something years. Almost 20 something years, because I think in the show it's 17. Of not a single word said or heard from him or anything about him. Like, it was just nothing. She thought she was good, everything was kosher, and she started a new life, because this man was not that nice. He was not a nice man at all. He was a very, very not nice man to her. And so she starts panicking a little bit because of this man. We meet these detectives, just like in Fool Me Once, and they have a story to be told as well that ties into the main plot, the main story of the whole show. And what I can speak on about both of these shows, Stay Close and Fool Me Once, is I like how they introduce characters, and it's like you think, oh, they're just a side character, and it's like he makes side characters the main characters. So you have to focus on all these other people because of it, and I like it. I think in Fool Me Once, you thought it was all about what's her name, and it really wasn't. It was a story involving everybody. They were not side characters. They were there. They were there, whether you believe it or not, and they belong there. And I think the same thing for all the characters in this story. They have a story to be told that ties in to the main one. Don't get me wrong. The women so far, the main leads in these 2 series, are the main focus, but there's more to the people around them, and that is what brings that story to just like life, and it's like, oh, okay, we're getting somewhere. I get it. You know what I mean? So yeah. In fact, the two detectives are actually ex-husband and ex-wife. You learned that in the first episode, which I found really quirky. And they say yeah, and yet we're still partners because they're on the force and they serve together. And let me just say what you're thinking. Couldn't be me, because if I married you and I divorce you, I do not want to work with you every day, in and out, in and out. And then the lady detective, can't remember her name, she has a kid, and when they're interviewing somebody, they're like, "Do y'all have kids?" And she's like, "Yes, I have a 2-year-old." And he's like, "No, my ex-wife didn't want kids." And she looks at him some way, and I'm just like, "Girl, why you feel some way?" And then they go in the car like, to be fair, I wanted kids. And he was like, "Yeah, just not with me." And I was just like, "Oh," and oh, okay. Alrighty. Okay, we get right into the tea. Like, okay. Anyways, another body goes missing just like the man that was hurting Megan. And it's under the same circumstances, but yet years apart. So the detectives, they get to doing what detectives do best. They digging for anything and everything. They want to know what is known and what's not known. They wanted to know everything. And so they've learned that there's a pattern. And when I think back now, like talking to y'all, I don't think the pattern was investigated or talked about as much as it should have been on camera. Because now when I look at it, it's just like the answer was right in front of us. Or was it? Or was it? We were busy learning about Megan's past life and what happened and why is she so scared of what's going on. What did this man really do to her? What does he have over her that she's so scared? Like it was more than just, abuse, I want to say. Like it was just given all that. You know what I mean? It was just a lot. It was just a lot. And I feel like, I don't know. I'm not the smartest person in the room, but guess what? I'm the only person in the room, so at the moment I'm the smartest person in the room, especially when I was watching the show. And I just think it's more complex than that. Like by the second or third episode, you meet this weird, very preppy, theatrical couple who are basically hitmen. When I think about it, they were given Popular by Ariana Grande, and I forgot the guy that she sang it with. That's what they were giving in a way, except the girl had orange hair, and Ariana's never done orange hair, or a redhead, my bad, a redhead. And this story was not confusing. Like I said, it was just more complex than Fool Me Once. And I say that because everything is not what it seems. And I know I said that for Fool Me Once, but everything is not what it seems, because it's not. I feel like Fool Me Once was just like, maybe if I watched them in like a sequence of events, like the years they came out, these stories do not correlate with each other in any ways. But maybe if I watched them in the years they came out, because Fool Me Once came out 2024, Stay Close came out in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And there are other shows that came out in 2022, 2023, even 2018, I believe. So there's he been at this for a minute, okay? Yeah, Netflix is low key been hiding this because I've never seen these shows um pop up on my list. So yeah, after I watch Fool Me Once, then I see all these other shows, and then it's like, we highly recommend this. Oh, do you now? Do you? I had to go out and find these shows. You didn't recommend Jack to me. You know what I mean? Whatever. What you should be paying attention to in this show, you're not gonna really pay attention to it. And in the end, when everything unfolds and you see the truth or you understand it clearly, some people are going to be like, "I knew that," while other people are gonna be like, I, I, I wasn't expecting that." I was on the side of people where it's like, I wasn't expecting that, but I could see how that is the conclusion. Everybody has a story to tell in this series. You just have to figure out which story is worth hearing and pay attention to and understand the real plot. Or not the real plot, but the intention of the killer, the intention that the story is trying to lead you in. Like, you got to understand it, like follow the path, go with the flow. Since I watched these two shows, it makes me want to watch the rest of the Netflix shows that they got, because it just has a hold on you. Like, I like it. Like, I'm warped around it. I forgot what I rated Fool Me Once. I think I gave it like a solid 7 or 8. If I had to rate Stay Close, I would give it a 7. Whatever Fool Me Once had, Fool Me Once is still, I like Fool Me Once better, but Stay Close, it was just like, what? I'm not gonna lie. I praised the cast and everything for Fool Me Once. I didn't dislike anything about Stay Close. However, there was one particular moment where I was just like, you call that acting? You look at me. You call that acting. This what I could act better than that and I have no bearing. It was given. If you watch the show and you get to the episode, you're gonna be like, this is what she was talking about. Don't be pointing out this, and that. You gotta watch the show. Meaning you gotta sit down for some episodes before you see what I'm talking about. But if you find bad acting anywhere else, please let me know. Because when I saw that scene, I was just like, are you serious? Are you serious? The amount of dead bodies that piled up over this show, though, it was just like, it was just giving like terror. It was just like one dead body after another, after another, after another. It's a limited series, so there's only 8 episodes, just like Fool Me Once, and it's like every episode, it wasn't just one body dropping. It was like, here's 2, and here we got 3, and then here we got this one right here, and here we got, oh, we gonna attempt to kill you, but we not gonna kill you. We gonna let you live a little bit, but don't worry, we got something. It was just giving. It was just giving. It was just a lot. This man, he is a good author, and he chose the right people, or these people are great in themselves for choosing themselves to bring this book alive. um like I said, I have never read these books, and I probably never would read these books because I am not that type of person. I'm not flipping through books like, ooh, nah, partner, okay. In total, there are 8 TV shows under Harlan Coben. If I were you, I would watch all of them just to get a feel of how each piece is written and interpreted differently than the other. If you have if you have, why can't I speak right now? I feel like I've been doing good this whole show without getting caught up on my words or my tongue. But if you have ever watched any of these other shows that he's made, please let me know how you like them. I definitely will watch them because they're really good. And you just want to see like comparing Stay Close to Fool Me Once. It was like, okay. You can see like the same concept, but it's written and interpreted differently. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean. As much as I want to say next week we're going to watch another TV show in this collection, we're not. At least it won't be talked about on the podcast because next week starts Black History Month. And just like last year, we're only doing Black producers, directors, cast, stories, all of the above. You name it, and it's Black, you can find it here. I really loved how I went about the content that I found last year for Black History Month, and I'm so happy and willing to do it all over again because that month, it drew in the most views for 2023. It drew in the most views, and I learned a lot about Black history, and that says a lot because I'm a Black person. I don't know if you thought because of my voice you thought I was Caucasian, but I am Black. Surprise! Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, there were so many other things I wanted to talk about during Black History Month or talk about on the show and give to y'all that I wasn't able to. And this month I'm going to try my hardest to do more and go above and beyond than I did last month. You would think somebody of that culture, of that race, that ethnicity would know their history of who and what they are and how they came to be, but some people don't. I am not ashamed to admit that I do not know a lot about Black history. What is taught in schools, specifically public schools, since that's what I went through, is very small. They like to talk about MLK, like they like to talk, Malcolm X and Rosa Parks. I don't know. I was about to say something. That's why I got caught up in my words right there. I'm not slow. I don't know if you guys ever watched a little like Malcolm X, the MLK video where they like go back in time and like there's a baseball and like all that stuff and segregation. We watched that every year. I watched it through elementary, I watched it in middle, and I think I only watched it in high school once, but I didn't watch it to an entirety. I forgot what they did for Black History Month in high school, if I'm being completely honest. But I'll never forget watching that MLK video every single Black History Month, to the point where it's just like, I don't care. It was like, in school, it made me not care about Black History Month. Like what's so important about Black History Month? And I'll just walk around like, it's my month. I'm black and I'm proud. But it's like, what are you black and proud of? Like, what do you know about the culture, the history? What do you actually know that's significant? You know what I mean? Many people, they don't talk about Jesse Owens or Shirley Chisholm or W.E. Du Bois and so many other civil rights activists who played a huge role in the fact that Black History Month is a thing and that it is still well and alive today. So every Thursday when a new episode's drop, you will get a fun fact about a person or an event to celebrate and honor those that came before us. Just my way of like showing love to the Black community, because again, I am Black. I don't know why I keep saying that, but I guess people don't think I'm a real Black person, and I am. And I remember last year they do a Black History Month theme every year, and so for 2024, the theme for Black History Month is African Americans and the Arts, which basically dives into literature, folklore, language, film, music, my type of stuff, since I dabble in the arts a little bit. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm totally an amateur and will continue being an amateur. But I highly encourage people to look into their history and their background, because you never know. As a Black person living in America, I would like to know what other Black people went through, because that's their story. And it should never be forgotten, because what they went through, what they did, made it possible for me to speak ever so freely to all you beautiful listeners right now. And I think even now, when I think about it, it's like my family's from Jamaica, and it's like technically I'm a first generation American. Like, I was born and raised in Florida. Like, there's I'm not saying there's like high hopes for me to like do good and excel in the world, but like I have high hopes for myself, and I just, I find it so cool. And I think a lot of people, what was it? It was last month actually, and I was in uniform, and these two beautiful Black women stopped me, and the guy I was with, he was also Black, and they were like, "You guys look so nice in your uniform," like, and she looked at me and she was like, "There was a time when like, we couldn't do certain things, let alone serve, and this and that." And sometimes I hate when people remind me of that, but then it's like, thank you for reminding me of that. And when people be like, you don't find a lot of minorities or colored people in the service and whatnot, and it's just like, I got nothing but Black and Hispanic friends. I know a handful of Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and other Black people from other ethnic groups. That's all I know, and it's like, that is true. There was a time we couldn't do this. Don't get me wrong, as much as we complain about our jobs, we know that there was a time when people who look different were definitely oppressed, and it was not a pretty time for them. And I'm not going to say I can only imagine, because I do not want to imagine. um because yeah, I mean, have you ever watched a slave movie? Have you ever seen the way people were treated? Look what happened to the Jewish people when them Nazis was going crazy. Like, come on now. I don't ever want to know what that feels like, and I pray that for the rest of my time on earth that I don't go through that, and I don't see people go through that, and I pray. I truly and truly pray for that. You know, that it is what it is. I said it like 2 episodes ago, maybe, I can't remember. But I'm taking sociology this year. It's one of my courses that I'm taking so far. And we've been talking about race. And I've learned a lot so far about it. And I'm learning more in sociology than I did in history growing up, which is crazy. And, just be prepared for me to throw that at you as well. We're not just here to talk about people and movies and all these people that makes millions of dollars here. No. For the month of February, prepare to be educated as well, ladies and gentlemen, because if there's one thing I know people can't take away from me, it's my power, and that's the power of knowledge. And I will always preach that. And next year when I become a college graduate, best believe I'm gonna shout it from the rooftops. Okay? Okay. As always, thank you guys for tuning in and listening to the Review for Few podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe down below to keep up with the views, and feel free to show some love or hate by commenting as well. As always, I hope you know if you post hate and it's like real hateful, it will be deleted. I do get notified. Anyways, happy listening, y'all. Hey, listeners. Welcome back to the Review for Food podcast. As always, it's me, your girl, Avi, and today I'm talking stay close. But first, what's new? I'll tell you what's new. I have been working for 2 weeks straight. And yet somehow no, I want to start over because I started so good. Now start over.